What's everyone, Tao here, and today I will be going through this Fractal Design Meshify C PC case with you guys, and I'm gonna take this apart and to see what's the construction, and I will also tell you guys why I have decided to choose this particular case, and this is also my Christmas gift. The front of the case is very simple. The entire front panel is mesh, hence the name Meshify C. Here's the Fractal Design logo, and yeah, it's very plain and simple, which is a good thing. On the left side of the case, there's nothing. It's just a piece of metal. And on the other side, here is the glass panel. The color is very tinted, and then some people say it's too dark. But in my opinion, if you put LED strip inside, and you should be okay with seeing the components inside. So to me, it's okay. We'll see. Here is the back of the case. Here's the I/O cutout. Here is the 120mm exhaust fan. And here's also a few ventilations. Now here's 7 PCI Express slot because this case will accommodate a ATI case. Now here's the power supply unit cutout. Now the good thing about this is here is the PSU brackets. The screws there are stay on, so you know if you have habit of losing things, this is great news for you. The way to install the PSU, you screw the PSU onto this and slide the entire PSU inside and then screw on. So it's fairly straightforward. Here is the top of the case. This is the meshed dust filter, and also is magnetized. Here is the ventilation here. You can accommodate 2 120mm fan or 2 140mm fan. And also you can accommodate a radiator as well, so that's really good. Here is the reset button here, and here's the microphone, here's the headphone, here's the power button. The power button is quite subtle, so it's pretty good. Now there are 2 USB 3 slots. Now this is the bottom of the case. You can see there's 4 rubber feet, and also the entire bottom has been protected by the dust filter. The way to put it out, here's a handle, so you just pull it and then the entire dust filter will slide out. And here is the power supply slot here that will go in there, and also has ventilation for it. Now here is actually its hard drive cage installed right now, held by the 4 screws. You can take the hard drive cage out and you can accommodate the fans if you wish to, and also you can accommodate the hard drive if you don't need that many hard drive. To take the glass panel off, I suggest you lay the case flat, and so you don't accidentally damage the case. There are 4 screws, 1 on each corner, so you just unscrew them and then just take the glass panel off. Here's the glass panel. To take the metal side off, you just unscrew these 2 screws and it will come off. The good thing also, these screws are also stay down, so you don't need to worry about losing it. After taking the metal side panel off, here's the inside, and you will also find the accessory pack. Here's the accessories. This is actually inside the hard drive cage. After you open it, you will see this. This just the screws and the standoffs and zip ties. So yeah. The front panel also can be taken off. The way to take the front panel off is underneath the front panel, here's a gap. You can see from here, it's right there. So just put your hand in there and then use force to pull it. Don't worry, you won't break the panel. So just like so. So the panel will come off. Just bear in mind there are cables connected to the connectors on the top. So just bear in mind, do not damage the cables. Here's the front panel off. You can see the whole thing is mesh from behind. Now the good thing is there is a very fine dust filter to prevent dust coming. You can also take the entire dust filter off. The way to do it is over here. There is a kind of latch or clip rather. So you just push it, and the entire front panel it will come off like so. So you know, if you want to clean just that, so it's fairly easy to do so. Here is the LED, that is the HDD LED and the power LED. So it's on the top left corner. Behind the motherboard tray, the first thing we will see is there is a 2.5-inch hard drive support here. You can accommodate 3 2.5-inch drive. The way to unscrew this, here's the screw here. You just unscrew it, and this thing will come off like this. So I would suggest you install the hard drive onto this first and then put it on. So that's the easy way to do it. There are also some Velcro ties here. It's very to see Fractal Design carry on using the Velcro, so you can reuse them, and also it looks pretty neat. Here are 3 in fact. Here are also some zip tie mounts, so if you want to use zip ties, so you got plenty zip tie mount to tidy up the cables. Now here's a large cutout just for the cable mount, so in case you got thicker cables you can't go through here, so you just reroute them, can go through the PSU. Now the gap between the mount and the back panel here, I think it's more than sufficient. You can accommodate most of the cables. So if it's too thick, as I said, you can also reroute through the large cutout here. So you should have no problem for the cable management here. All right. To take the hard drive cage out of the case, you simply after you unscrew the screws, you simply slide the hard drive cage out of the PSU compartment here, and then you can take the hard drive cage out. Above the hard drive cage, here's a cover, but if you want to use a radiator, you can also take the cover off. After unscrew the 2 screws, you just lift cover, and then it will come out like this. And also you will see the cutout here, so for the radiator installation. In terms of the cooling solution of the case, Fractal Design give you 2 120mm fan, one at the front and one at the back. On the top, as I mentioned, you can have 2 120mm or 2 140mm. Just want to give you guys a demo. Here is one, and you can fit another one over here, so that we will accommodate 2 120 and or 2 140mm fans without any problems. And also you can have a radiator, 240 I believe, but if you do have a radiator, just bear in mind the motherboard is going to be very close to the top, so I suggest you just think carefully before you go ahead with the large radiator. Now in terms of the front, you can see here is a fan included. Now you can mount 3 120mm. Here are the 3 fans, 3 120mm fan installed. Now at the bottom here is also a cutout here. If you wish to have a intake fan from the bottom, so you can also install like this. It will only accommodate a 120mm fan, bear in mind if you wish to. Now in terms of the graphics card fitting, the Fractal Design recommend the maximum length of the graphics card is 315mm. Here I have a EVGA GTX 980. I'm not entirely sure the length of the graphics card, but I can find out. Here is what it looks like if I fit this graphics card into the case. As you can see, there are still a good amount of gap between the front panel and the graphics card, even with a fan. Now, just bear in mind, if you do use water cool and with the radiator and the cooling fan, so you might experience the tight squeeze between the graphics card and the front panel, especially if you have a longer graphics card than this. So just bear in mind. Now, in terms of the power supply unit, the Fractal Design recommend the maximum depth of the power supply is 175 millimeter. Here I have a Corsair RM650X. The depth of this is around about 160 mil, so it should have no problem to fit in there. Let me just quickly slot in here to show you, and you can see here. You still have a gap over here to route the power cables. Now, bear in mind, if you do have a larger PSU together with the hard drive cage, you might have slight issue to organize the cables. If your PSU depth is over 175, over here, here's a little stopper here. So you can't really slot too much in, and eventually that will stop you slot in the PSU if your PSU is too big, which is over 175 millimeter in depth. So I think hence Fractal Design recommend the any PSU under the 175 millimeter depth. Right next to the PSU, after you remove the hard drive, apart from you can accommodate one 120 millimeter fan there, you can also accommodate a 3.5 inch hard drive. So if you wish to, if you don't need that many of storage. Here is inside the case. There are some cutouts for the cable management, and these also are rubberized. Rubber grommet is protected. There's two here and two on the top. For the CPU cable and the other cables. Now, underneath here, just above the PSU, there are also cutouts to accommodate the HD audio cable. Normally it's located there, or some USB headers, USB 3 headers, or some other cables. So it's really good to see there are plenty cutouts for the cable management. Since here is a shelf, so if you want to go wild for the storage, you maybe can accommodate 3.5 inch drive, since it's just about deep enough to accommodate 3.5 inch drive. So, you know, that may be a solution if you want to put more hard drive in. Maybe 2, since there is another shelf here, or maybe a few of the 2.5 inch drive. Alright, hopefully you guys enjoyed the complete teardown of the Mesh 5C case. There are a few reasons why I chose this case. One is tempered glass edition, so I personally really like the case with a side panel, with a glass side panel. And the second is the airflow. The entire front has mesh air intake, so the airflow is really good. Now the third is the actual size of the case. Now this actually is ATX case, but it's slightly smaller, or slightly the overall size is smaller than some other mid-tower case. I actually will be using this case to build a 6-core video editing Hackintosh. Hopefully in the next coming week, so please subscribe and please stay tuned. Now, if you guys did enjoy the video, please give a thumbs up and click on like and share it with others. If you didn't like the video, you know what to do. And also don't forget to subscribe to keep up with my channel, so for the future video updates. So yeah, see you guys in the next video. This is also a very good Christmas gift. One more thing. Nice.